Coming up on Levi Trumbull Reporting.
Earlier today, Corporal James Dodson stood before a Pennsylvania judge charged with 4 felonies, including solicitation of a minor, possession of child sex abuse materials, and criminal use of a communication device.
All right, guys, what's happening? Levi Trumbull out here reporting by the brand new Frederick City Police Department headquarters. Quick side note before we jump into today's story. This newly improved building cost the taxpayers $33 million of money, and it just opened yesterday on June 30th. Today is July 1st, and on June 30th, yesterday, not only did they have their grand ribbon cutting, but they had a bombshell story blow this whole city open. So with that, guys, perhaps you have heard the unbelievable allegations surrounding a former police officer of the Frederick City Police Department, Corporal James Dodson. Guys, we are going to unpack all of these horrendous details here in this video, and then we're going to play you the statement that the police chief gave yesterday when they learned that the criminal complaint had been filed against this individual in Pennsylvania. So with that, guys, let's just dive right in. Corporal James Dodson was indicted yesterday in Adams County, Pennsylvania, on 2 counts of solicitation of a minor, 1 count of possession of child pornography, and 1 count of criminal use of a communication device. So here is some information that we know about the timeline. Back in August of 2024, evidently, Corporal Dodson was communicating with the wife of one of his co-workers here at the Frederick City Police Department, and they were engaging in some messages over Snapchat. This is somebody that evidently he had trauma bonded with, whatever that means. And at some point in these communications via social media, he disclosed to this woman, again, who's the wife of one of his co-workers, that he has sexual desires and fantasies for incest, younger children, and bestiality. Guys, you heard that right. Not just little kids, but we're talking incest and bestiality. Dude was interested in and had fantasies of animals. Disgusting. At this point, it's unclear how long Corporal Dodson was communicating with this wife of one of his co-workers, but this is insanely weird stuff. Well, in any event, the charges say that at that point, she referred this matter, she informed individuals here at the city of these disturbing text messages and these disturbing things that were said via Snapchat. And she also disclosed that Corporal Dodson admitted that he was attracted to a 12 or 13-year-old girl who was the child of one of the city police officers here at this building. So she disclosed that to the city, and at that point there was an investigation launched, and they referred the matter to the proper jurisdiction, which would be the Pennsylvania State Police, for further investigation. Well, subsequently, after the matter was transferred to the PSP, they did their investigation and they pulled Corporal Dodson over at a Walmart near his hometown. They collected his devices, they went to his residency, they further collected laptops, and they did an analyzation on those devices, and what they found was unbelievable. I also want to notate that they also confiscated his Frederick City Police work cell phone, the device that the taxpayers paid for, that he used during the course of his public duties as a police officer. They found graphic images of children. They also found unbelievable messages that were end-to-end encrypted, communicating with people, trying to talk about and lure young victims into deviancy, just unbelievable situations. He was also using a website called Flingster to engage with people as it relates to the topic of child abuse and child abuse material. It was also learned during a download of his devices that he also expressed interest in individuals as young as babies. Just absolutely disgusting stuff. I also want to mention that in some of these communications, it became pretty clear that Corporal Dodson understood what he was doing was wrong, because he was saying things like, I can't click links, we need to stay here on this conversation, which is end-to-end encrypted. He understood the wrongful conduct that he was doing. When Pennsylvania State Police interviewed Corporal Dodson, he actually confessed, admitted, he put it all out there, that this is the type of activity he was involved in, that he was looking and distributing images images of little kids in a very explicit fashion. It's unbelievable stuff. So with that, guys, we are going to turn it over to the chief of police, and we're going to bring you the statement that he put out to the city of Frederick yesterday. But just an unbelievable situation, guys. It's unbelievable to think that a high-ranking official here at the city of Frederick, somebody who was a corporal, when you called him out to a job, not only is this guy potentially, looking at your kids, looking at your pets, but he's looking at farm animals. This guy is sick in the head. How he ever passed a mental screening, I have no idea. But this guy had a lot of screws loose. Some people are just weird, and then some people, like this guy, if it is true what is being alleged, is just absolutely sick. One of the most shocking, disgusting allegations against a police officer that I've seen in a very long time, and it's all happening right here behind me at the Frederick City Police Department. So guys, we're going to follow it. If there's any major developments, we will let you know. But until then, Levi Trumbull reporting outside of the City of Frederick, Maryland Police Department. We are going to catch you guys very soon.
Today, I'm going to address deeply troubling allegations involving an officer of our agency. The charges brought forward represent the most severe betrayal of trust committed by a police officer. Earlier today, Corporal James Dodson stood before a Pennsylvania judge charged with 4 felonies, including solicitation of a minor, possession of child sex abuse materials, and criminal use of a communication device. Let me speak plainly. Any person who exploits a child commits an atrocity. When that person wears a police badge, the betrayal is tripled against the victim, against every resident who entrusts us to protect them, and against every member of the agency and our profession. The conduct alleged against Mr. Dodson is despicable, inexcusable, and fundamentally contradicts the oath of every police officer in our department. At the Frederick Police Department, the expectation is crystal clear. Every employee, sworn or civilian, is expected to act with integrity, uphold the law, and protect the people we serve, especially our most vulnerable. There is no gray area. There is no sliding scale. When someone violates that trust, whether through misconduct or criminal behavior, they are not shielded. They are removed. Our community deserves a department that earns their trust every single day, and that's the standard we hold ourselves to at the Frederick Police Department. In August of 2024, an FPD employee reported through their chain of command a potentially criminal act committed by Mr. Dodson in the state of Pennsylvania. And that information was immediately reported to our command staff, including myself. We immediately contacted the Pennsylvania State Police to handle the criminal allegation, and we suspended Dodson's police powers. This included all access to FPD facilities, collecting his badge, his duty weapon, and his department-issued police vehicle. In addition to the criminal investigation, we felt it necessary to conduct an administrative or internal investigation as well. Recognizing the need for that impartial internal review, we entered into an agreement with the Montgomery County, Maryland Police Department to lead that internal investigation. That investigation remains active today. Effective immediately upon Monday's charges being filed, Mr. Dodson's suspension remains in place, pending the outcome of the criminal matter. And let me be clear, if these allegations are proven true in a court of law, Mr. Dodson will have no place in law enforcement or within the Frederick Police Department family. Accountability will be delivered and justice will take its course. I am proud of the thousands of law enforcement professionals, both sworn and civilian, who show up every day determined to do the right thing for the right reason. No one hates a corrupt cop more than a good cop. The men and women who honor this badge understand that a single act of corruption diminishes every act of service and erodes the trust they have worked so hard to earn. This badge is a symbol of the trust the community places in us. When that trust is broken, so is the right to wear the badge. If these allegations are upheld, the badge Mr. Dodson once wore as an FPD police officer will be permanently removed from circulation. It will never grace the uniform of a Frederick police officer again, it will not sit in a display case, and it will not be passed on. And it will never again represent this department or this city. Symbols matter. The badge reflects a promise we made to this community, a promise to serve with honor and integrity. Again, If true, Mr. Dodson shattered that promise. His betrayal will not quietly be set aside, and the symbol of his service has been stripped away, as it should be. This active criminal case remains with the Pennsylvania State Police and the Adams County District Attorney in Pennsylvania. To avoid jeopardizing prosecution, my remarks today must be limited. I will, however, hold a press availability later this week. That will take place on Thursday, July 3rd at 4 p.m. At that time, I'll answer what I legally can and reaffirm our commitment to complete transparency. To the men and women of the Frederick Police Department, I want to thank you. I know the vast majority of you serve with integrity, you uphold your oath every day, and earn the trust of this community every day. I appreciate the work you do, especially in moments like this, when the actions of one individual cast a shadow over all of us. Stand firm in your commitment to the values that brought you to this profession. And lastly, to our community and anyone hearing this news, we know how painful and damaging these types of situations are. You deserve to be protected by individuals with integrity. Officers with compassion and professionalism are the only types of people I will have in this agency. In the coming weeks, I will be meeting with community groups, advocacy organizations, and trusted partners across the city to personally reaffirm our commitment to service, accountability, and upholding the most fundamental value we can have: trust. We cannot allow the actions of one individual to define us, but we also cannot ignore the responsibility to rebuild what has been damaged. That work begins now.